This conference will now be recorded.
So let's start. So yesterday we started off with asset accounting. Okay, and what we understood is asset accounting takes care of different asset related transactions. What are the different asset related transactions? So normally purchasing of asset, posting the depreciations. Okay, so monthly depreciation postings, right? You also have sale of asset when sometimes you require to sell the asset with revenue. Sometimes it is scrapping the asset where you are scrapping your asset without getting any revenue. And then there are some transactions related to transfer of assets. So these are the different type of transactions that you normally do with the asset throughout their life. Okay, and we understood asset accounting. It has a silent word. Asset accounting is nothing but fixed asset accounting. Okay, so whatever we are discussing, this is related to the fixed assets of the company. We understood the difference between the current asset and the fixed asset. So fixed assets are those assets which we are purchasing for a longer time, normally more than 1 year, and that is not for the purpose of selling or converting it to cash. Okay, so sometimes when you purchase the stock, ultimately stock is not to hold, stock is to sell and gain some profit, right? So we convert the stock into cash. But when it comes to the asset, fixed asset, normally it is not for converting to cash, it is to utilize for your company so that you can perform your business processes well. In terms of the configuration, what we have done yesterday is we understood how to perform the configuration in asset accounting, starting with the number one that we need to do is copy the reference chart of depreciation. Okay, so I told you SAP provides n number of chart of depreciations, which are sample chart of depreciations for different countries. So you can copy the one where you are implementing SAP. So if you are implementing SAP for, let's say US, you will copy the US sample chart of depreciation and make your changes. Second is you provide the description. Okay, if you copy, the description also gets copied, but if you want to change, so description to chart of depreciation you can provide. Number three, you can add or delete the depreciation areas. What are depreciation areas? So if there are multiple different accounting principles, or if your depreciation is based on different number of factors, if your company is saying the depreciation rate is different for Income Tax Act and for Companies Act, or income tax rate is different for US GAAP and India GAAP, in those cases we need to create that many number of depreciation areas, right? Then we need to do the asset classes. We need to create the asset classes. What are asset classes? So if I want to divide my assets into furnitures, vehicles, IT hardware, IT software, buildings, lands, so these are the different categories of assets. In SAP, these different categories are called as asset classes. And when you set up the asset classes, there are three important things. Do you remember what are the three things that we have mentioned in asset class? Number one was account determination. Number two was screen layout, right? Which field is mandatory, which field is optional when you are creating the asset master data. And number three was the number range. These are the three things which are asked in the asset class. And then the last activity I think that we have seen yesterday was how to activate the asset classes. So determine the depreciation areas. Okay, in this activity, we have seen by default our depreciation areas are deactivated for asset classes. We can go here and we can activate our depreciation areas and we can provide the useful life by default. We can provide the useful life, we can provide the depreciation key. What is depreciation key? Depreciation key means it consists of the rules to calculate the depreciation. So whether it is a straight line or it is a declining method, okay, all those things are controlled via depreciation keys. Okay. Apart from this, before we create a master data, before we create any master data, there are two new things which were not there in ECC, which are required to be done. Number one, do you remember the two transactions that we execute yesterday in order to create the asset?
The year-end amount had to be transferred, something, right?
Right. So the transaction code was FAA_CMP. Okay, this was to perform the or to initialize. You can say initialize or you can say close the last fiscal year, so that the system knows which current year is open. And number two, you have to perform the carry forward, balance carry forward using transaction FAGL GVTR. Okay, this is to close the, to carry forward the balances. Okay, so these are the two activities that we need to perform in order to make the system ready to create any master data. Now, this is what we have done yesterday, and towards the end, we were trying to create an asset. Okay, and we got one error, and I told you I will explain you this error in this session. So in order to create a new asset, I will go to transaction AS01. Okay, system is asking me the asset class. So we have created some asset classes yesterday. In our company code, if I enter my company code, which is XYIN, okay, these are the standard asset classes which are already created, and in addition, we have created this two, or we have activated this two for our company code. So let's assume I want to create a IT hardware. I want to create a laptop as an asset. Number of similar assets, I want to create a single asset. Enter. In description, you can write Lenovo laptop or whatever laptop you are purchasing from the market. If you know the model number and all those things, you can enter it here. In time dependent data, you have to specify which department is going to use this asset, because the depreciation cost every month then will be charged to that particular cost center. So let's say this is by the production department. This laptop we are giving to the production department. So every monthly when the depreciation will be posted, it will be posted to this particular cost center. Okay. And in depreciation areas, in our case, we have identified two depreciation areas, one for book depreciation, second for income tax. So according to book depreciation, just for example's sake, the life of the asset is 10 years. And for income tax act, the life of the asset is 5 years. So definitely the percentage of the calculation depreciation for this depreciation area would be 10% every year, while for this particular one it would be 20% per year. So the depreciation figures will be different in both the depreciation areas. Okay, and here when we were trying to save, we were getting an error yesterday. Today we will not get it because I solved that error. I'll tell you how I solved. So if I save now, you can see the asset has been created. So I created two assets. Yesterday we were trying one, and this is the second one that I have created. You can see the number 3001 and 3002. Why 3001? Because in our asset class, let me show you, transaction code for asset class is OAOA. Right? So in our asset class, if you remember, for IT hardware, we assigned number range 03. And if you remember the number range 03, we provided the numbers from 3001 to 4000. Okay, that is the reason system is taking this numbers. Right? Now, what was the error? What is the reason why yesterday I was not able to create an asset? It was related to the depreciation key. Okay, so If you see the depreciation keys that we are using depreciation key LINS. So although these depreciation keys are standard, but as I told you, there are a lot of standard, like in this system, in this particular system, there are a lot of standard settings which are provided by SAP are missing. I don't know why, because normally all those settings are available. In this system, I can see there are a lot of other depreciation keys like LINR, LINV, which are also straight line method. But not a problem. I'll just explain you how this depreciation key is set up. So normally we are happy with the standard itself. But if you want to create your own depreciation key, how to do that and how to tell the system what are the different type of calculations, how the calculations would be performed. Okay, so I will not go into detail of this because this is very, you can say by default, normally we use the standard one itself, but since the standard ones are not working properly, that is the reason we need to touch this. So I'll open a new transaction to set up the depreciation key. I will just show you how depreciation keys are set up, which will also help you in understanding how the system calculates the depreciation per month. So financial accounting, asset accounting, depreciation, valuation methods. You can see this is where the depreciation key is created. So by default, there are a lot of depreciation keys which are available. You can see depreciation keys here. So for our chart of depreciation is XYZ. You can see these are the list of depreciation keys which are available. And let's assume we are talking about this LIN. You can see straight line over the remaining life pro rata to 0. It means it will follow the straight line method and it will continue to depreciate till the value is not becoming 0 of that asset, and it is at the pro rata. Okay, pro rata means what? Pro rata means if I purchase the asset on 20th of the month, right, then system will not charge for entire 30 days. It will only charge for the remaining 10 days, right? So that things you can control from here. If I open this and double click here, this is where all the calculations are specified. So you can see the base method. Okay, you can see the declining balance method, whether we are following which method we are following, whether we are following the declining balance method. So let's see what is base method 11. You can see base method 11 is percentage from the useful life. So based on the useful life, system will automatically start calculating the percentage, right? If you are using, let's assume if you want to use declining balance, then you will be using this. Countries 020. Okay, and for again, SAP has provided for some different countries. If they know what is the requirement there, they also provided some of the depreciation keys based on different countries. You can see this is for Japan, this is for CZEC. So based on the requirement, this is where the settings are done. Okay, period control. Period control means how the system will take pro rata or the full. Whether system should take full month or it should take pro rata month. That is controlled from this period control screen. So SU2, what is SU2? SU2 has this logic. Now this logic to understand, we have to understand the period control method. This is a period control method. So let's go to period control method SU02, which you will also find here itself. So calculation methods, period control method. Okay, so here if you go to SU02, okay, this is where the system is giving the calendar. This is where the system is telling that if I'm using period control SU02, my acquisition date should be what? My addition, which means if I'm adding some new assets in the same asset, if I'm adding some, you can say, what is that? If I purchase the asset, let's say at 1000, and later on, subsequently, it is a word subsequent. So if I want to add another 100 to the same asset, that is called as addition to the asset, which is a subsequent addition. This is retirement, and this is all the other transfers, right? So what does it mean? If you see what is 11, 11 is next month. Okay, I'll show you what is next month. So 11, let's go to 06. What is 06? 06 is at the start of the year. So what is happening? What system is telling is, whenever you are performing the acquisition, whenever you are buying the asset, your acquisition date or the system when performing the depreciation run, what should be considered as a acquisition rate, acquisition date. So this is 11. 11 means if I am purchasing the asset after 15th of the month, then system will consider it as a next month. So if I'm purchasing an asset after the 15th of the month, system will not charge any depreciation for that particular month. Same way for additions. This is related to the acquisition. When I am purchasing any additional, when I am doing any subsequent addition, in that case, it is showing 06, which means it will start from the start of the year. So irrespective of when I am purchasing the asset, whether I am purchasing the asset in March, April, May or June, system will always start from 1st of April, additions.
The same year.
Same year, yes.
Suppose we have bought additional asset means like if we have laptop, we have computer and we are buying mouse and all those things.
Yes, you can say that. So it can be, there can be multiple examples. You bought the asset at 1000. Now you want to add another 100 to it. This 100 can be, you bought, example can be mouse. It can be the freight cost, which you need to capitalize on that asset. So whatever you want to add on the gross block value of the asset, that is considered as addition.
Okay, suppose it has been bought in the October, so the same year it will come from the January.
This is the logic which is written, but I think this logic is not correct because logic should be common. It should not be for acquisition, it is next month, for retirement, it is another thing. So normally what happens is, normally if you follow the standard, same thing I told you, SAP by default provides lot of standard depreciation keys in which most of the things you will find they are same. Like you can see here 11, 11, 11. Most of the things are matching. 3, 3, 3. So this is the right logic actually.
Next month, what should be the date? Last date of the month.
Sorry.
You are saying if we are buying the asset, if acquisition is happening in the current month or after 15, so what should be date for the next month? The last day of the month.
No, who are we to decide that, Arti?
Okay, again, auditor.
Right. So this is from where it is controlled, but ultimately it has to be decided by the business. So SAP has provided different depreciation keys. Normally we follow LINR. LINR is at the start of the month, normally. What do you mean by at the start of the month? So even if I'm purchasing the asset on 25th, system will consider the depreciation from the first itself. So that is a normal what we use in India. But again, depending upon the business requirements, you may need to come here and you may need to adjust and you have to taste also because you don't know what is from the description. I can see this, but internally whether it is calculating correctly or not, that you have to perform the test and you have to finally uh, assign whatever period control is assigned and then you have to give it to the business. So normally we don't need to make any changes here. If standard functionality is there, LINR, LINV, then we don't need to come here. But this is only because if there is some change, if the business is asking something completely differently, then only you need to go to these areas.
Okay, one query here. If we have 1,000 of asset, okay, in our business, so all the 1,000 of asset will post a single day, right? If the business decide that depreciation should be posted on the last day of the month, so the same day 1,000 of asset will get depreciated. Am I correct?
No. See, Arti, it is not a question of when it will be depreciated. Depreciation will be on the last of the month itself. The question
Correct, but
here,
all the asset.
yeah, the question is when the depreciation will be performed at the end of the month, what would be the value? The value should be considered from first, or the value should be considered from the date from where the asset is purchased. But yes, normally, if your question is only when it would be executed, it will be executed at the month end itself. All the assets together.
Okay.
Yes, all the assets together. You are not going to perform the depreciation for like you will be performing the depreciation only for all the assets. You will not be selecting the assets and performing the depreciation normally. It is a one-time activity. You should always include all the assets together.
It comes in a periodic, is it?
Periodic, yes.
Okay.
Okay, then for retirement, it is 0-2. So pro rata up to mid period. You can see this is pro rata. So retirement is taking pro rata. So normally there are a lot of things available here, but it should be always, normally it should be in sequence. And the reason why we were getting error yesterday, if you remember, it was giving some error related to 17. So this actually is 11. I have maintained it here. It was showing 17. You can see 17, 06, 02, 02. I just seen if something is available and I just provided. If you want consistently 01, 01, 01, if you want, let's take example. So I want it, let's say, first of the month. Where is first of the month? There are a lot of standard things missing here. That is the reason it is creating confusion. Okay, let's take this pro rata. So I'm saying all will be 01, 01, 01, 01. Okay, which means if I purchase, if I add, if I retire, if I transfer, everywhere system will consider pro data. So this also would change to 01, 01, 01, 01. Okay, so this is just a coding which is given based on what are your values here. Okay, and let's save it. So this is where we were struggling yesterday because system was using 17. You can see here 17. If I start using this 013 again in my assets, again I will get error. Because I'm using SU2 and 17 doesn't exist, that is the reason I maintain 01, 01, 01 and 01. Okay, so this is
Vikram,
just, yeah.
sorry, I missed some 5-10 minutes class. So what is this pro data means? I think you have explained already.
Pro data means if you are purchasing an asset on 15th of a month, so system will calculate the depreciation from 15th onwards. It will not calculate the depreciation for entire month.
Okay, the last 15 days. Okay, and what is this pattern 01010101?
Which one?
The description pattern. I thought it is a date. Yesterday the error was coming, right?
It is same 0101. Whatever you are entering here, just to give you some name, just there is a slash in between, just to identify what is SU2.
Okay, got it. So if these dates are different, sorry, these patterns are different, acquisition date is different. So always the error will come, is it?
So system, when you perform the depreciation, based on how the depreciation will be performed in the at the month end, when you perform the depreciation, system has to consider the acquisitions, it has to consider the additions, it has to consider the retirement, it has to consider the transfers, and then only the depreciation will be performed, right? So in order to calculate the depreciation, we have to tell the system now, like what would be my criteria for the depreciation. So previously, the error that we were getting yesterday was because someone has maintained 17 here, which is not active. And that is the reason we were getting error. So now if I change this to 010101, what will happen? The error will go away and we'll be able to create an asset. Okay, which we already done. We have created two assets now. So if I show you AS03, this is the first asset. You can see Lenovo laptop. And second asset that we were trying to create yesterday was 3001, which is HP laptop. So these are the two laptops that we have created as assets in the system now. We have still not purchased. We have just created the master data. We have not done any transaction.
This capitalization and all did not come.
It will not come. It will come only when you start, when you acquire it, when you purchase it. Then only this acquisition date, acquisition year, capitalization date, this will automatically populate. Even in depreciation area, currently it will not show you the opening date of the depreciation because the depreciation is not yet started. So this also will come based on the period control that we define.
So is it mandatory to give cost center as soon as we are creating the master data?
Yes, that is a mandatory field based on the screen layout. If you don't want, you can change it from there. But again, at the month end, when you perform the depreciation, If you don't have the cost object, you will not be able to book the cost.
Okay.
So it is always better to provide at the beginning itself. Okay. So now what we will do is we will try to purchase this asset. Okay. Once the asset is created, we can purchase this asset. So for purchase of asset, can you tell me what would be the different accounting entries? Because when you try to purchase the asset, system is definitely going to give you a lot of errors because we have still not set up the account determination. So when you purchase the asset, can you tell me what would be the accounting impact?
Asset will get debited.
Fixed asset account will get debited. What would be credited?
To suppliers.
Supplier, right? We are purchasing the asset from the supplier. So supplier will get credited. If there are, I'm not making it complex. If there is tax and all, those also things will come here. Okay, so if there is any taxation applicable to this asset, the tax part also will come as a credit because you need to pay to the government, or the debit, which means you are paying to the supplier and supplier will pay to the government. So this is purchase of asset. Same way, just remember in SAP S/4HANA, this posting is splitted into two parts. First part is fixed asset to technical clearing account. This is only in S/4HANA. In ECC, it was not like this. Okay, and the second part is technical clearing account, debit to supplier credit. So what is happening is it is just splitting. Ultimately, the posting is same, fixed asset account to supplier. Technical clearing account, whatever will be the value here, that will get debited, credited. Ultimately, it will become zero. But still from the technical clearing side, this account is required. Without this account, you will not be able to post. Okay, so these are the postings that we need to, the system will generate at the time of purchasing the asset. Can you tell me what would be the accounting impact at the time of depreciation postings? I'm just trying to
Depreciation account debit.
the GL accounts because we have to first create this GL accounts. Yeah, what was the accounting entry?
Depreciation account debit to asset.
Depreciation account debit to, in SAP, we directly don't charge the credit to the fixed asset. We create an accumulated depreciation account, which is also part of asset category itself. It is called as accumulated depreciation account credit. Right? What will happen when you sell the asset? Let's assume, let's put some value here. So I'm purchasing this asset at 12,000. Okay. And the life of the asset is, let's say, 10 years. So what will happen? Monthly depreciation according to 0, 1. Depreciation area, what would be my depreciation? Life of the asset is 10 years. What would be my monthly depreciation, or you can say yearly depreciation?
1200.
1200, right? 1200 yearly depreciation. For 0, 2 area, what would be my depreciation per year? Life of the asset is 5 years. What is 12,000 divided by 5? Every yearly
2400.
400, right? This would be my depreciation. Now I'm selling the asset. At the time of selling the asset, what would be the accounting impact? And let's assume I am selling this asset after 2 years of usage. I use this asset for 2 years. Okay. And I'm selling at, let's say, 7,500. What would be the accounting impact?
Supplier will get debited.
Why supplier?
Supplier, no, customer.
Customer, right?
Okay.
Customer will get
Yeah.
debited. Customer will be debited by how much? 7,500. Need to collect this much amount from the customer.
Then loss
Okay.
on sale of asset.
Yeah.
To
First of
asset.
all, customer debit to
Asset.
asset sales account credit with 7,500 because this is also my revenue, right? Asset sales is my revenue. Now your asset is going out. What is the if asset is going out? What would be the value of that asset? So when it was bought, you have debited the asset, right? This fixed asset. Same GL account, whatever you are using at the time of acquisition, same GL account with same amount. So it will be credited by how much?
12,000.
1,000. But I use this asset for how many years? I use this asset for 2 years, which means accumulated depreciation, which is credited here, will get debited. How much? For 2 years, if I use this asset, let's assume I'm talking about depreciation area 01. For depreciation area 01, I use this asset for 2 years. Per year, I utilize 1200. So 2400 is minus. Sorry, 2400 is my accumulated depreciation, right?
Yes.
And how much I am getting in return? Asset sales account, how much I am getting to sell this at
9,600.
9,000.
9,600.
Now you tell me if I'm no, I'm not getting 9,600. Nah, I'm getting 7,500. I'm selling at
Okay.
Yes.
7,500.
Okay. Okay. So,
What about the remaining amount?
Remaining amount will be
uh,
loss, I guess.
that would be
Exactly.
a loss.
Right.
Loss
Loss
on
on
sale of asset.
asset sales.
Loss and
Yes.
sale losses.
Okay. How much? It would be 9,600 minus 7,500, which would be 2,100.
2,100.
Right. So this is how you have to do the accounting in SAP. Now, in order to do this accounting, the first thing we need to do is we need to create this GL accounts. All right, so let's go one by one. We will create all these GL accounts one by one, and then we have to assign these accounts to account determination. So FS00, I'll create a new GL account. It would be part of, I think I can see already fixed asset is created. Maybe we created previously.
Vikram, before this, can you please explain the technical clearing account? Like what was the requirement? So this has been
Yes,
initiated in this.
I'll come to that point. Just give me a minute. It will be very difficult for you to digest now, but I will come to that point. Okay. So I want to create the next GL account. This is already created. I want to create a next one. So I'll click on new one. Okay. And this is for what? This is a balance sheet account. My fixed asset is a balance sheet. Account group we already created for fixed assets. You can see asset FA. And here, this is my FA for IT hardware. I need to create a separate, normally this is a requirement because in the financial statements, they want to see all these GLs separately. We cannot create just fixed asset as an account. For all the asset classes, you have to create a separate GL, right? For testing sake, you can just create one. But when you are working in the industry, definitely they will ask you to create a separate GL because that is a requirement from the financial statements point of view. I'll go to control data. Now, if you remember, in AP and AR, we were using this recon account. It was recon account for what? For AP, it was recon account for vendor. For AR, it was recon account for customer. For asset accounting, there is a recon account for assets. Right? So this is my recon account for assets. This is important, without which system will not allow you to post anything in this GL. Okay. Let's go to create bank interest tab. There are different field status groups. Select the field status group which is related to asset. SAP has provided the field status groups which are related to assets. You can use YB07. In other systems, as I told you, if you are not able to see YB, you will be able to see G007. Last two digits will be same always. Okay, so let me save this now. So this is my first GL account. The second GL account that I want to create is technical clearing account. Okay, so again I'm copying this. I'm providing the next number, which is 2002. All other things will remain same. Only description I need to change to technical clearing account. Why it is showing test? Okay, so this is our technical clearing account. Okay, all other things are same. So this is second account. Now what is next? I need to create a supplier. We don't need to worry. Supplier account is already created. AP. Our suppliers are already created, right? I need to create depreciation and accumulated depreciation. This depreciation account would be my profit and loss account, and accumulated depreciation account would be my balance sheet account. So first I'll create the accumulated depreciation because I'm already in that stream. So I'm copying this again to 3. Okay, and here I will write this is my accumulated depreciation for IT hardware. Again, accumulated depreciation account, normally we create separately for each asset class. Okay, and save it. So this is for accumulated depreciation. Now for depreciation, it is a profit and loss account. Depreciation is my expense. It is not my asset. So for depreciation, I will go to the expense group and I will create the next GL. So let's copy. This is 6. Okay, it is primary cost and revenue. It is expense account. This is my retained earning account. And this would be my depreciation. Again, if you want to have a separate depreciation account, you can create for all the this ones, but if you want, you can create a common depreciation account also. I'm creating separate. So depreciation for IT, or maybe I'm creating common, which we will use for all the asset classes. Okay, let's go to control data. Just verify everything is okay. Cost element category is mandatory field. So this is my primary cost or revenue. And in create bank interest tab, this is cost account. This is correct. So let's save it. So now I have a depreciation account also created. What is next? For sale of asset, I already have customer from AR. I already have fixed asset. I already have accumulated depreciation. What I want is I want asset sales and asset sales clearing. This is different. Asset sales clearing and profit and loss of assets. These are all. This is revenue account. This is also revenue account, and this is expense account. So let me do it in the expense first. Copy number 7. If you want to have a common account for loss and profit, you can do. Otherwise, you can create 2 separate accounts. So loss, gain on asset sales. Okay. Otherwise, other things will remain same. Let's save it. Let's go to revenue now. We need to create 2 GLs here. So again, I'm copying this 3. Again, primary revenue, correct. This is my asset sales. But normally, you will also find in the industry, normally this revenue account that we are creating, this is created as non-operating. Because what is the difference between primary and non-operating? Is this income my normal income? Do I have a business of selling the assets?
No.
So this is something which is non-operating for me. This is very rare case that I'm selling the asset. Normally we don't sell the assets, and that is the reason you can keep it as non-operating expense or income. Okay, control data. This one is fine. So you can save it. And the last one is asset sales clearing account. Okay, so only difference would be this is sales clearing. So now I have most of the accounts in place. Okay, GL accounts are created, but how the system will know which GL account to debit, which GL account to credit when we are doing these transactions? We'll be doing the acquisition transactions, we'll be doing the depreciation transactions, we'll be doing the retirements. How the system will know in each and every transaction, these are the postings which I want to make. So that is the reason why we have assigned the account determination to our asset class. So if I show you the asset class screen, if I go to transaction OA for asset class, it is already open. Okay, and our asset class which I'm using currently is for IT hardware. So you can see I'm using account determination XYIT. In this account determination, I have to specify all the GLs. And how can I do that? Where should I go for this determination settings? You can go to SPRO, IMG, financial accounting, asset accounting, and you have integration with GL, integration with general ledger account. So whenever any transaction is done in asset, if you want to integrate it with GL, then you have to go to this particular transaction and you can see assign GL accounts. Transaction code for this activity is AO90. You can directly use transaction AO90 and you can come to this screen. Okay, so currently it is our chart of account. Select your chart of account, go to account determination. You can see there are a lot of account determinations here. The one that we are looking for is XYIT. Now here you can see this is where you have to assign the different GL accounts. So balance sheet GLs and depreciation related GLs. Let's double click on the balance sheet GLs. See, system is asking you when you acquire the asset, which GL account you want to debit, balance sheet account. Whenever you want to acquire the asset, which GL account would be debited. So here you need to specify the GL account for fixed asset that we have created. Right, this one, fixed asset IT hardware. Okay, these are for other rare scenarios with integration with other modules. You can ignore this. Then you have retirement. When you retire the asset, retire means sale or scrap the asset. At that time, which GLs are assigned? So you can see loss made on asset retirement without revenue. Without revenue means scrapping. This is not related to us. Clearing account, revenue from asset sales. We have created the asset sales clearing account. Gain from asset sales, loss from asset sales. Okay, so this is where you need to specify all those GLs. Please mute yourself. There is some disturbance. So loss made on asset retirement without revenue. We have created the gain loss GL account. I'm assigning the same account here. So loss and gain on asset sales. Clearing account from asset sales. We have created the asset sales clearing account. Asset sales clearing account. Gain from asset sales, we are using same for gain and loss. So I'll just copy this. If you want separate GL, you can create a separate GL and you can assign it here. Okay, and this affiliated company is not related to us. All other things are not related to us. Then you can directly go to depreciation. Okay, in depreciation, you have accumulated depreciation and you have expense account. So you can see this is accumulated depreciation and this is expense account, means profit and loss depreciation account that we have created. So in accumulated depreciation, you will go and you will provide this accumulated depreciation account, and in expense account, you will provide the depreciation profit and loss account. Okay, which is this one. Okay, that's it. Now you just save it. Now system knows that whenever you are going to purchase any asset, which GL accounts are going to be determined automatically. So just go to our notepad and see whether all the GLs which we require are mapped or not. Have you mapped fixed asset account? We have mapped. Have you met technical clearing account? You have still not mapped this, right? Otherwise everything is mapped, but this technical clearing account is still not mapped. Because for technical clearing account, there is a separate screen. It is not maintained in this screen. Technical clearing account is a new functionality which is introduced by SAP only in S/4HANA, and that is the reason it is not included in the older screen that we were using to perform the GL mappings. There is a new screen to map the technical clearing account. Okay, you can see the next screen itself. After assign GL accounts, there is a screen, technical clearing account for integrated asset acquisition. Just open this and define the technical clearing account for integrated asset acquisition. This is where you will come, you will say new entry for your chart of account, which is XYZ. You will tell the system which technical clearing account you want to use. Okay, again, if I do F4, system will give me the list of all the GL accounts. I would assign the technical clearing account here. So where is technical clearing account? Are you able to see here? Here, this is the technical clearing account. So let me double click and save it. Okay, so now technical clearing account is also assigned. The last activity that you need to do from the account determination side, although this is not related to GL, it is related to the other account assignment objects like cost center. We entered the cost center in our asset master data. So whenever the depreciation will be posted, I want the cost center to be automatically copied in the depreciation posting. I don't need to provide the cost center manually at the time of depreciation. So for that, you have to go to the last activity, additional account assignment objects. Okay, and activate the account assignment objects. Okay, activate or this one. Let's see which one is required. No, not this one. This one. Specify the account assignment types for account assignment objects. Yes. So our company code is XYIN. These are the two depreciation areas, whatever we created in our company code. And for each depreciation area, you have to click on new entry and whichever cost object. So currently in our case, it is cost center. So if I do F4, it will give me the list of all the cost objects. In our case, it is cost center, KOSTL. You have to make this star. And from here, you have to tell the system, first one is APC values, activate it. Same way, KOSTL star. Second one is for depreciation postings. Depreciation run. Okay, provide this and tick this box, activate it. This is important. Otherwise, you will get error at the time of depreciation posting. That system is not able to determine the cost center. Now, We are telling the system whenever the depreciation would be performed, system will automatically take the cost center which is provided in the master data of the asset. Okay, just save this. Okay, now this configuration is complete. Most of the configurations we will see now whenever we'll do the transaction, if there is any other configuration which is pending, but otherwise most of the configurations related to account determinations are now completed. Okay, now we will try to proceed with the transactions. We will try to do a transaction one by one. First we will purchase the asset, then we will do the monthly depreciation, then we will try to sell the asset, and finally we will do the asset transfer. Let's do it one by one. So first of all, we already have two assets. So I want to first purchase the first asset. In order to purchase the asset, no more SPRO because we are already done with our configuration. As a user who will be purchasing the asset, he will be using accounting, financial accounting, fixed assets, posting. You can see acquisition. Acquisition means purchasing the asset. Acquisition, external acquisition. We are purchasing from outside. Okay. There are multiple options with vendor. So if you are purchasing from vendor, you will use this. If you are not purchasing through vendor, you just want to provide separate offsetting GL, then you can use this. Normally we don't use this. So these are the different options like affiliated company and all, but this is the main scenario when we purchase the asset. F-90 is a transaction code to purchase the asset from the vendor. So when you are purchasing the asset from the vendor, you have to specify. This is kind of a similar screen which you have seen in GL posting. So it is asking you document date. So what I'm doing is, in order to keep the calculation simple so that you can understand, I am purchasing this asset on 1st of the year. Okay, so 1st of April 2021. I'm just providing the reference as invoice number. Now 31 posting key means what? Vendor, credit the vendor. So here you need to specify from which vendor you are purchasing this asset. Okay, so we already have some vendors which are created in the system. We can use any of those vendors. Let's use this. Okay, press enter. Warning message, you can ignore. It is saying the current period is 2, but you are posting in the first month. So we know that. Let's press enter. It is taking you to the next screen. You can see the APGL account is automatically determined. Accounts payable supplier account is GL account is automatically determined based on this vendor, because we have provided this in the vendor master data recon account. Okay, amount. At what much amount I am purchasing? I am purchasing this asset at 12,000. Okay, again, in order to keep this simple, we already know what are payment terms and all. So I don't want to unnecessarily block this invoices and other things. I'm just removing all this from here. Okay, anyways, payment block, we are not worried. So enter, enter. Now you have told the system what to credit. What you would debit? You are crediting the vendor. What should be debited?
Fixed asset account.
Fixed asset account should be debited. And is it okay if I tell you fixed asset GL account is debited, but which asset is debited, I don't know. Is it okay with you?
No.
No.
No, we
You
have
want
to be
to debit
specific.
Yeah, you have to debit the asset account GL, but at the same time, you want to keep a track of each and every asset. The asset is getting purchased, right? And that is the reason I will not directly just tell the system that debit the GL. Debit is normally 40. Okay, I cannot directly say the system to debit this particular GL. Rather, I will tell the system that debit the asset, and the system will automatically find out from the account determination which GL account to debit. So for debiting the asset, the posting key is 70. You can see debit asset. Posting key
So
70, you will
only one
purchasing the
one GL
asset.
account will be reconciliation account, right, Vikram?
Yes, one GL account can be reconciliation account for
Or
each asset. There
whatever
is
other GL account we have provided in account determination, those will not be any reconciliation account.
sorry.
The account which we are tagging with this asset only will be the reconciliation account. Am I correct? The
No,
account, the
Arti.
GL.
Arti, we created 3 different GL accounts as recall account. Number 1
Correct.
is fixed asset account. Number 2 is accumulated depreciation account, and number 3 is technical clearing account. Here, system will pick because we are not depreciating. When you depreciate, system will pick or accumulated depreciation account.
So
Currently, we
that
are
also will be the reconciliation account.
yes, right. Okay, so posting key 70, and this is where now when you write 70, so if you do F4, system will give you the list of assets which are created in your company code because you want to debit the asset. So there are two.
Vikram,
Yes.
I have a quick question. Actually, we are mentioning here key 40 as a debate. Then what is the difference in 40 and 70? Because is there any specification in that key?
40 is debit the GL.
Okay,
If you write 40, it will not give you the list of assets. It will give you the list of GLs. It will ask you which GL account you want to debit.
okay, okay,
You are giving 70 debit the asset, and that is the reason it is giving you the list of assets here. Which asset you want to
okay,
debit,
okay. Got it. Thank you.
right? So I am using this asset, first asset. And whenever you are providing this asset, system will not allow you to go ahead without providing the transaction type. This field is mandatory for each and every asset related transaction. So if I try to ignore this, if I press enter, you can see I'm getting a message, enter the transaction type. For asset related transaction type is mandatory field. Transaction means what transaction you are doing with asset. Are you purchasing? Are you selling? There are n number of transactions which you can carry out, right? So when you are purchasing this, you will use 100 external asset acquisition. So whenever you are purchasing this asset, you will use transaction type 100. You are telling the system, I am purchasing this asset from outside. Then you press enter. Again, you need to enter the same amount. So at what price you are purchasing this asset. Okay, you can see system has automatically determined the technical clearing account now based on the configuration that we have provided. If you don't maintain that configuration, you will get that error, technical clearing account not found. Because we have completed all the configuration, we are able to see that technical clearing account has been determined by the system. Okay, so this is how you create the posting. Now, before I save, I can do the simulate. Just similar to what I do in AP, AR, GL, I can do in asset accounting also. So if I simulate, system will show me what accounting entries will take place. System is little bit slow today.
Vikram, I just want to know why we created accumulated depreciation account as a reconciliation account.
It is system requirement, RP. There is no answer to that. It is a system requirement. Accumulated depreciation account is part of the fixed asset. Only the name is different. Okay, I'll talk about that. So you can see what is happening is vendor account credit to technical clearing account debit. Okay, this is my vendor account which is getting credited and my technical clearing account is getting debited. Then how will I see asset account debit to technical clearing account credit? For that, you have to click on this asset accounting button. It will show you all the 4 lines. So you can see there are 2 document types which are getting created. Document type KR and document type AA. KR document type is AP related document where vendor is getting credited and technical clearing account is getting debited. While in asset accounting, we are getting asset account being debited and technical clearing account being credited. So if you see this GL account ending with 2, it is debit credit. At the end of the transaction, the balance will be 0. So what is the purpose? Looking at this, can you tell me what is the purpose of technical clearing account? The purpose of technical clearing account is to keep AP and asset accounting independent. Right? I can see a separate KR document type which is related to AP. I can see a separate asset accounting document which is independent of AP. So in order to keep these two things independent, we need a technical clearing account. Okay, technical clearing account is splitting the document into two parts. This part, KR part, is called as operational part. This question comes in the interviews. This question comes in the exam also. What are the two parts in which the acquisition document is splitted? Number one is operational part. So AP document type is a operational part. And asset accounting document is called as valuation specific part because of the asset valuation. So operational part and valuation part. Let me write it here. System divides or splits the acquisition posting into two parts. Number one is operational part, document type KR, and number two, valuation specific part, which is document type A. Here now, Aarti, you got the answer why technical clearing account is required. In ECC, it was not possible. In ECC, system was creating a single document type AA, right? But now, in order to keep the valuation part separate and operational part separate, SAP introduced this technical clearing GL account.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back now and try to post. Simulation looks okay. And also one more important thing, if you see, just a minute, let me show you. Yeah, US GAAP,
So
that is fine.
in ECC, there were no KR document posted.
In ECC, there is no KR document posted. It posts only document type AA.
Okay, so this technical clearing account will come into picture at the time of acquisition only, not in other transaction.
Yes, technical clearing account is only for acquisition. It will not come into picture in any other transaction in asset accounting.
Okay.
Okay, let me try to say this. So now our document has been posted, which means now we will be clearly able to see that there is an asset in this company code. Okay, and what is the value of that asset? Yesterday you were asking about a report. I told you I will show tomorrow. AW01N. This is a transaction which will show you the asset explorer, which will show you what is the value of this asset, how much depreciation will be calculated every month. You can see all the details are available here. So you can see for this asset, there are two depreciation areas, India GAAP and Income Tax Act. Under India GAAP Act, the value which is posted is 12,000 and every yearly the depreciation that would be calculated is 1200 because the life of the asset under India GAAP is how much? 10 years. So at the end of the year, the net book value at the end of 2021, the value at which this asset would be remaining is 10,800. This is the closing balance of this asset in this particular fiscal year.
So
Same thing.
it has been, Vikram, it has been the 10,800 is showing as per the straight line method, which we have given for the India gap first area, right?
Yes, whatever depreciation key you assigned, based on that, system has calculated the depreciation. And if you remove the depreciation part from the value of the asset, that will become your net book value.
Okay, acquisition value I got to know 12,000. What is this AP transaction value?
Which one?
The first column, APC transaction.
APC is acquisition, production, capitalization. So it is just like if you are not purchasing this asset, if you are producing in-house, so it will just APC value normally is acquisition value. Both are same.
Okay.
Okay. So this is acquisition value and this is APC value, ordinary depreciation at the end of the month. Someone, I don't know who is this, Avinash, he has pinged me on WhatsApp. He's saying you are showing ECC screen. This is not S4HANA screen. If this is not S4HANA screen, how the technical clearing account will come into the picture? How the technical clearing account will come into the picture? The screen is one. This is because of the theme. The theme which I'm using today, that is the older theme. It is not a ECC system, dear.
Sir, but this is a better scheme because we can see the transaction code in the bottom right.
No, that is up to you. You can use any theme. So currently, because I'm using my another laptop today, that is the reason it is taking another theme. But if
Oh,
you
that's
want,
why I was thinking till now we were in first theme, right? Please.
right.
Please.
So let me change this theme and you will be able to see the new screen. So even we prefer today also, as Rajesh said, this is a better screen because we are used to it from many years. Even we prefer to work on this screen rather than the new one. And new one is comparatively slow also. So you have to close this and reopen. You will be able to see the completely new. You can see here itself it is new.
So
Sorry,
Vikram, Asset Explorer is the transaction where we can see the acquisition value, the last year value, and the month-wise whatever depreciation is calculated. Is there any other
yes.
transaction where we can check this data?
Yeah, just 100. I'm coming to that. Let me explain the entire Asset Explorer screen first. What happened? Why it is not getting opened?
And why I was questioning for the reconciliation account, till now I was knowing like if we want to take the subledger value in the GL, so like vendor, customer, and the asset, so only we are just maintaining the reconciliation account. So so this was my confusion. Why accumulated depreciation came in like reconciliation account? It is
Yeah,
not
so
tagged with
accumulated
any asset.
yeah, no, it is not tagged to any asset. Even your acquisition account is also not directly tagged to any asset. It is via account determination only. We have not tagged any reconciliation account to our asset. When we created asset, have we entered the reconciliation account?
Where? No, no,
When
no,
we
no,
created
no. We are not
it was
tagging. We are
always
just
to
giving
account
it.
determination. So your acquisition as well as accumulated depreciation, as well as depreciation, as well as retirement, everything is coming from the account determination that you assign to your asset class.
Okay, and why technical clearing account in S4HANA? Because of the universal general, is it?
Yes, because of splitting, because of split in the valuation specific and operational part. You are right. It is because of ultimately it is because of the universal journal.
So previously in ECC, we were not having any KR document. So how was like work going on? Like they will be going for the A document type always, and there will be always one document posted. Is it?
No, but ultimately the posting was okay, na? Why to worry about the document type? Ultimately the posting was correct. Vendor account was getting credited.
Okay, so as for Anna, because of this AC Doka, they have merged. They wanted to take all the values in this table. So they have
Right.
correlated with each other. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. So let me explain once this again. So for fiscal year 2021, acquisition value is 12,000. Ordinary depreciation, because my life of the asset is 10 years, so it is calculating 1200 per year. and at the end of the month, at the end of the year, the remaining value which would be left with is 10,800. And this will tell you what are the transactions took place on this particular asset till now. So you can see on 1st of April 2021, we bought this asset at 12,000 with transaction type 100. Right? Now, if I show you 2022, so what will happen in 2022? My opening balance will become 10,800. Again, 1,200 will get deducted and the remaining value will show here. So if you go to 2022, you can see there are no transactions posted. There is no change. This is just 1 minute. Yeah, net book value fiscal year start was 10,800. The ordinary depreciation for a year is 1,200, and we will be left with the value 9,600. If you continue 23, you will see it is even 1,200 lesser. If you go to the 2024, you will see it is 7,200. So at the end of 10 years, you will find the value has become 0. Okay. And if you click on the posted values, no posting selected for the fiscal year. As of now, we are not posted anything. That is the reason it is not showing. I'll show you once I post the documents. If you go to Income Tax Act now, okay, what will happen? What would be the ordinary depreciation?
200.
2,400 per year, right? So if I double click, you can see the ordinary depreciation is 2,400 because the life of the asset is only 5 years. So this is the report that I was talking about. Aarti, you were asking if I'm not posting in GL, then how will I get my report? You can see this depreciation area is not posting anything. We have not posted anything to GL, but still we are able to generate our reports, right? This is a report which is for a single asset, but normally this is okay to see for a particular asset what is the value and all. But if you have thousands of assets and you want to get a list of acquisition value, ordinary depreciation, net book value, then you can use. There are n number of reports available in everywhere in AP, AR, fixed assets. So you'll go to financial accounting, fixed assets. Okay, information system, reports on asset accounting. You have asset balance report. Individual asset is what we have seen just currently, AW01N. For asset balances, you have different reports with asset list, asset balances. You can see you can generate a report based on asset class, based on which business area, based on cost center wise, based on plant wise. So if you assigned your asset, when you created asset, if you assign plant, location, cost center, system will show you the reports based on that. So if I want to see all the assets which are provided to a particular cost center, I want to see the report for production cost center, or maybe I think the one that we have posted is HR. So let me change this to HR, and I want to see each and every asset, not the total. This will only show you total. I want to see each and every asset with the values. And when I'm generating the report, it will ask me for which depreciation area and what would be your report date. So I want to see the report at the end of this year, 2021, which means 31st March 2022. Okay, first I will see for depreciation area 01. Then I will see for depreciation area 02. So 1 and execute the report. Okay, you can see this asset. This is the asset description. Acquisition value was 1,200. Accumulated depreciation for at the end of the year would be 1,200, and the remaining book value will remain 10,800. So like this, you can generate a report even if there are thousands of assets which are given to this particular cost center. You will be able to see that report.
Vikram, so how many business area we are using and what all the depreciation key we have to use? That thing again business will decide, right?
Definitely, those are all business decisions. Okay. So now, once you have posted the acquisition, next would be every monthly there will be the depreciation posting. At the end of every month, you will post the depreciation. Okay. Now, in order to post the depreciation, again, you can go from accounting. Definitely, it would be in fixed assets. But instead of posting or instead of information system, you will go to periodic processing because you normally run the depreciation at the end of the month. So depreciation run, this is a transaction code. Okay, AFAB. Now this transaction code is same even in ECC, but if you see inside, the screen is different compared to ECC. If anyone has worked on ECC, if you're not worked, no need to worry. But if anyone has worked on ECC, this screen is little bit different because there is a new program in place, old program will not work. Okay, so here you need to specify your company code. You need to specify for which period you are performing the depreciation run. So if I want to perform this depreciation run for period 2020, fiscal year 2021, period 1, which means at the end of April. Okay, I want to see the detailed log. Okay, I'm doing the test run first. I want to see which assets are being considered, whether the depreciation is getting calculated properly, whether it is getting posted properly. So I will click on execute. You will always get this message. Do you want to continue processing? You will say yes. So you can see there is one asset. This green means everything is okay. There are no errors. So for example, if I have not done the account determination, I have not provided the depreciation GL account, I have not provided the accumulated depreciation GL account. Sorry. Or maybe the period is already closed, right? So if those are the cases, you will get a red message here and you will be able to see the error log somewhere here. This is the error log. As of now, everything is okay. That is the reason everything would be green. But if those are the errors, period is closed or system is not able to determine the depreciation GL, those kind of errors will get reflected here. Even the cost center, if the system is not able to pick, if you're not maintained that last configuration for the cost center, then also system will give the error that system is not able to determine the cost center. If this is okay, you can see how much depreciation is getting posted in a month. Is it correct? It is 1200 divided by 12, right? Every monthly it will be booking
Yes.
as 100. Okay, so if you are happy with this, you can go back, you remove the test run, and when you want to run this depreciation run, you have to do it in the background. In the foreground, it will not allow. So what you need to do is more program, execute in background, or you can press F9 button. Okay, you have to provide similar to Dunning and APP we have seen output device, the standard output device is LP01. Okay, this is fine, just click on enter. Just press enter and perform this task immediately. Click on immediate and save. So what will happen in the background, system has scheduled a job. You can see FAA underscore depreciation underscore post. If you want to see this job, what is the transaction code to see the job? SM37. You can go and you will find that whatever jobs are scheduled by this particular user, you can see this is done and it is finished, which means depreciation posting has been completed. If you want to see the log, you can click on this, go to job log, and you will be able to see the document has been posted. You can see asset transaction was posted with document number 3 all times 0 in accounting principle US GAAP. Okay, so now if I want to see what is the depreciation posting, I can open this particular document number. I can go to transaction FB03 312341. Okay, and this is a document which got posted. Maybe one list. Yes. So you can see what is happening here is asset account is getting credited by 100 and depreciation posting is getting depreciation profit and loss account is getting debited by 100. If you want to see the GL, this is showing asset. You can see it is showing 75, posting key 75, which means it is reducing the value of the asset. But if you want to see the general ledger view, if you want to see which GLs are debited and credited, where is the general ledger view? System is too slow today.
What is this
Okay,
other
anyways,
ledger?
yeah, anyways, other ledger is if you are creating multiple ledgers. We have a discussion on this. We will talk about ledger separately. As of now, we have only one ledger, that is 0L, which we are using for US GAAP, right? So just remember this thing. This is the GL account which is getting debited. Which is this GL account? It's copied. This is the same GL account, that of accumulated depreciation. If you go to
So we
asset,
don't have entry view and GL viewer.
I'll show you. Just give me a minute. The screen is different. That is the reason I'm not able to show. So you can see this document, sorry, this GL account was credited, which is accumulated depreciation account. Again, it came from account determination screen. Yeah, Arti, your question, that is exactly what I was trying to search, but because of the screen theme difference and slowness, I'm not able to see, but definitely it will book the GL transaction also and asset transaction also. And you can see this GL account has been credited. Okay. So this will happen at the time of booking the depreciation. Now again, if you go to Asset Explorer, since we already posted something, so you can see this is my asset, okay, and this is the same thing what it is showing. But if you go to posted values, it will show you whether the depreciation has been posted or not. You can see for first period depreciation is already posted. You can see this green, and for next periods, for second period, third period, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, it is planned. It is still not executed. So at any point in time, if you want to see whether the depreciation has been posted for a particular month or not, you can come here and you can see this period. Accordingly, system will tell you whether it is posted or it is planned. Okay, you can see ordinary depreciation already posted is 100. If you click on the posted value, if you click on the planned value, this will tell you what would be the status at the end of the year. In posted value, it will tell you what is the status as of now, as of today. So as of today, the value left of this asset is 11,900 because 100 has been reduced as a depreciation. Clear on this?
Yes.
Okay. Now next one is, let's say I want to do the retirement of this asset. Due to some reason, I want to sell this asset. Right? And I will keep it at the end of the year because again, the calculations, just to keep it simple, what I'll do is I'll go to postings where I've done the acquisition previously. Now I'll show you the retirement. In retirement, again, you have multiple options: retirement with revenue, retirement without revenue, right? So I'll go to retirement with revenue with customer. So I'll specify to which customer I am selling this asset. So again, you can see DR. Here also, system will divide the document into two parts: document type DR and document type AA. But here, system will not use technical clearing account because system always, even in ECC, although the document type is not different, but system was always using the asset sales clearing account, which we assigned in account determination. Okay, let's see. So let's assume I want to sell this asset at the end of the year. At the end of the year means 31st of March 2021. Okay, obviously this period should be open. If the period is not open, we will get an error. So 31st of March 2021, I'm just providing some reference here. If you come down, system will ask you 01. 01 is debit customer. which customer you want to debit, whom you want to sell this asset. So it will give you the list of all the customers. You can select which customer you want to select, press enter, ignore the warning messages. Yeah, we are getting the error. Posting period 12 is not open. So in this case, what should I do? OB52, posting period variant XYIN, and I have to open this period up to 12th period. I'm opening for all because it will involve AR transaction, it will involve asset transaction. So unnecessarily, I don't want to open only for asset. So now I'm telling the system up to 12th month, all the periods are open. Normally, this will not happen, right? Normally, when you sell the asset, you will be selling in the current month, not in the 10 months from now.
Vikram, I have one question here. Previously, when we used to do OB52, when we used to save it, it was not giving the TR, transport request message.
It always gives TR, RP. Only thing is, in the production system, it will not ask for TR. In non-productive systems, it will always ask for TR. Okay, and plus there is a if you want, there is another SAP note from SAP. If you want to deactivate it, you can deactivate with the help of ABAP.
Yeah.
By default, it will always give a TR. In non-productive systems, only in production system, it will not ask for TR. Okay.
Okay.
So let me press enter. It is not going ahead. Let me go back and come again. So 31st of March 2021. 31st of March 2021. Test. You come down. Keep on pressing enter. Still showing some issue.
Sir, it should be 2022 March.
Sorry. Yes, it should be 2022, not 2021. Yes, now it will go ahead. Okay. At what price we are selling? We are selling at 7,500. In our example, we took this price, right? So 7,500, and then in order to sell, when we purchased, we used which posting key for asset? Debit the asset was which posting key?
70.
70, right? Here we will use posting key 50, which is normal GL. It is not related to asset. Okay, so this is a process. Why this is a process and all we don't know. This is a process. We will not directly use 75 here. We will use 50, and this is where you will be providing the asset sales GL account. Okay, so you are telling the system that my customer is getting debited and my sales account, revenue account is getting credited. Which revenue account? It is asset sales revenue account, which I created as non-operating. So asset sales. Okay, but in transaction type, you have to specify that this revenue is related to asset sales. Okay, so you have to specify transaction type 210, which is retirement with revenue. Okay, just press enter. Okay, not here. Let me remove this. It would be done in the next step. So here you don't need to provide any transaction type, just press enter. Here you need to enter the amount at what price you are selling, but you can see I'm not able to provide the asset number here. Normally there is an asset field here, or there is a tick, asset retirement tick, which I'm not able to see here. Can you tell me what could be the reason why I'm not able to see that?
It may be suppressed.
It may be suppressed from where? Where should I go and make it optional?
From screen layout.
Screen layout. I want it is screen layout. 100% it is screen layout. But where should I go? Because first of all, this is screen layout for what? This is screen layout for what? Is it for asset? Is it for GL? Is it for AP? Is it for AR? Is it for asset master data or what?
I guess it is for asset master in time dependent tab.
No, Madhuri, we are not creating asset master now.
Right.
It is for AR.
Why it is for AR? We are not creating a customer. It is for a GL posting. We are posting, right? We are posting in this GL. System has identified this GL. In this GL, whatever I'll enter, it will go to this GL, right? So for this GL account, I need to perform some field status changes.
So it
Where
will
do
be
I?
in GL account group.
Right. So you can double click on the GL account. If it goes from here, it is not going. So let me take this, go to transaction FS00. Okay, select for this GL, double click in create bank interest tab, YB29, and here I'm doing asset accounting. So I'll double click. You can see both are suppressed. So what should I do now? I have to change this field status. Either I need to assign separate field status here with the settings, or I can go to this field status and remove those, make it optional. So I'll take OBC3 or OBC4, right? OBC4. OBC4. Yes. So which field status variant I'm using? XYZ. In which field status group I have a problem? YB29. What problem I have? In asset accounting, I want to make these fields as optional fields. Say, done. Now system will allow me to enter the asset related data there. So I'll go back. Okay, maybe I need to come out of the screen because it will not get impact automatically. So F-92 3103 2022 31.3 2022. I will enter the customer to whom I'm selling this. So let's say I'm selling this to this customer. Enter, enter. At what amount I'm selling it. Posting key for revenue will be 50. I need to specify the revenue GL, asset sales, press enter. Now you can see there is a new field here, asset retirement. So I'll enter the amount first and then I'll click on asset retirement. When you double click on this, it will open the new screen. It will ask you which asset you want to retire and transaction type will come automatically. So I want to retire which asset? I want to retire, again, you will be able to see the list of assets. I want to retire this asset which is capitalized on 1st of April 2021. Okay, and asset value date. On which date you want to retire? I want to retire on 31st of March 2022. Whether it is a complete retirement or the partial retirement, I'm saying it is a complete retirement, right? Whole value I want to retire. I'm not retiring 50%. If I have, let's assume, if I purchase 2 laptops under one asset number, and I can say I'm retiring only one, then I can enter the percentage here, or I can enter the value here. But here I'm retiring completely. Okay, so press enter. Ignore this, press enter. Yeah, you can see now asset number is coming. Everything is okay. If you try to simulate this now, so more, document, and simulate. So you can see it is showing document type DR, which is just showing you customer account debit to asset sales revenue account credit. But if you want to see all the postings, you will go to asset accounting. You can see it is also showing DR. So we will talk about that, how the document type determines. Forget about DR as of now. So what is happening? Customer account debit. Your asset original account is getting credit. Just verify this with what we have written at the time of retirement. Just 1 minute. Let me fit this. So sales of asset. Customer account getting debited with 7,500. Is it correct? Correct or not?
Yes.
Asset sales account is getting credited by 7,500. Is it correct?
Yes.
Fixed asset account is getting credited by 12,000. Is it correct? This one. Yes or not?
Yes.
Then you have accumulated depreciation is getting debited by 2,400. Okay, this is for 2 years. We have written this for 2 years. Actually, we are doing in 1 year, at the end of 1 year. So values will change. This will become 1,200. Okay. And this is fine. Loss would be how much? 7,500 minus 20. Sorry. What is the value of this asset at the end of 10,800? 10,800 minus 7,500, which means 3,300. 3,300. Okay, which is getting calculated here 3,400 because 100 that we have already posted as a depreciation is already posted. So that part is already taken care. And that is the reason you can see overall asset clearing account is coming into the picture 7,500. This is the accumulated depreciation which is planned. Whatever is posted it is not showing, and that is the reason it is showing the loss and gain for 3,400. Okay, so this is how the retirement will work. Scrapping is also very much same. Even if you scrap the asset, it would be same. In scrapping, there will not be any customer, there will not be any asset sales, and that is the reason everything, whatever is the value of the asset, that will go under loss and gain. It will go under loss. If I have an asset whose value is remaining for 2,000, if I'm scrapping, entire 2,000 will be scrapped, which means everything would be loss. Right? So if you save it now, let's go back and try to post. So document was posted, which means retirement has been booked. And after retirement, again, if you go to the Asset Explorer to see what is the status of this asset, you can see this asset, no net book value. Why? Because whatever was the net book value has been already retired. You can see this. On 31st March 2022, we have sold this asset. Entire 12,000, what was the value of the asset, has been credited. What revenue we got? We got the revenue of 7,500 and we got the loss of 3,400. Everything system will tell you here. Okay, and the remaining 100, if you are questioning what will happen to the remaining 100, this is because we have posted that value already to the depreciation account. Right, that is already booked as a depreciation. That is the reason it is not showing. Okay, even if you see Income Tax Act, automatically it will flow away from here also. So nothing. Net book value, why it is showing 2,200? Just give me a minute. Is it 2021? This is wrong. It should not show any net book value. It should be 0. Oh, sorry, this is posted value. In planned value, net book value is 0, which is 100% correct. Okay. So this is how you will be doing the transactions. You can acquire the asset, you can perform the depreciation runs, and then you can retire the assets. Once you retire, you will see nothing is available in the values. So one thing which I forgot to show you, and that is the reason what I'll do is I'll do another asset acquisition.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I'll say 1st of April
Vikram, I have
2020.
one question here.
Yes. Yes, tell me.
In the Asset Explorer, why the ordinary depreciation is 1,100?
In the Asset Explorer, let me go to Asset Explorer.
It shows always the remaining one.
Okay, which one you are saying? India Gap?
Yeah.
Planned,
So why this
planned. This is planned.
Okay.
So
Means
planned is
100 already occupied.
we have still not posted this 1100, right? This is planned because we sold this asset when? At the end of the year. So every monthly
Okay.
still we need to post this, right?
It means still it isn't planned, right?
It isn't planned, yes.
Okay. Okay. And from the notepad, can
First
you
of it.
please explain the entry? I have one doubt
We
there.
purchased the asset on 1st April. See, we purchased the asset when? On 1st of April. Okay, and just to make it simple, I have sold this asset on 31st of March 2020. Have we booked the depreciation till 31st March 2022? That has to be booked na every month. So if I'm selling the asset in March, definitely in my May cycle, I have to depreciate this asset. In June, in July, for next 11 months, you will be depreciating this asset, right? That is the reason it is showing in planned.
Correct. Correct.
Clear?
Correct. But you have still some months are there, right? We have depreciated only for 4th month and again, and we have sold it on third month of the 2022. Then what about
Right.
the remaining depreciation?
That is exactly what I told you, RP. This is for the 11 remaining months. April is our first
Okay,
month.
so that
We have
okay.
12 months.
So in the actual scenario, correct. See, there is 11-month gap, right? There is 11-month gap, which is the like. So we in the real-time scenario, we will be posting depreciation for that. Is it?
Exactly. So then you will not get anything in planned here. Why we
Okay.
are able to see planned here? Because we skipped this month and we directly posted something in future. That is the reason it is showing planned. In the normal scenario,
Okay.
when you are selling asset today, there will nothing come in the planned.
Okay. In actual scenarios, like people will be depreciating the depreciation every month, and they will be selling at the time of
Then
exactly
it
on
will
the
be
time,
zero.
right? Which we did
Yes.
in future.
Yeah. Then this will be
Okay, so
zero.
system allows to do this entry. We can post, we can sell the asset in future. Is it?
The system allows, but is it a real-time scenario? Will your auditor allow this?
No.
So this is a scenario which, just for the explanation sake, we understood what kind of postings will take place. But otherwise, this scenario is not valid in the real-time scenarios.
Okay, so in the real time, there will not be any ordinary depreciation in the plant values, right?
Yes, after you sell the asset, normally this would be blank because you already posted all the depreciations and then you sold the asset.
Okay, can you please just go to notepad once?
Yes.
I want to understand this entry. Why the fixed asset got credited here? It is just for the double entry system, is it?
No. So whatever, see, you purchased the asset, you debited with 12,000. Now you are selling it, so definitely it has to be credited with 12,000.
Okay, for knocking off. Okay.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm doing one more acquisition so that I can show you some of the important fields which will update after you acquire the asset. This time I will take the same vendor. Okay, again I'm taking the same amount to keep it simple. I'm removing this payment terms. Okay, and then I am debiting the asset. So 70, and the asset which I am debiting now is 3002. The next asset that I have created, Lenovo laptop that we created today. And I am acquiring this asset, so 100. Okay, 12,000. And I will just post this. So my asset document has been posted. Now if you go to the asset master data, which fields will get populated? You can see this capitalization date, first acquisition on, acquisition year, and the period. These fields will automatically get populated based on the date on which you are purchasing the asset. You are capitalizing the asset. If you go to the depreciation area, here the system will automatically update what is the opening date of the depreciation. So from when the depreciation should be started, right? You have the option to change this also. If you want to change, if you go to the change mode, due to some reason, if you don't want to start the depreciation from the date which is automatically determined by the system, you can change the date here also, and you can change the date here also. But normally we don't do that. Normally we follow as per the system. Okay. Now the last thing for today is we need to transfer this asset. Okay, transfer means what? Now just now we created an asset. Okay, we purchased the asset, not only created, we have purchased the asset. So this asset currently is available with whom? This asset is currently available with production department. Okay, let's assume I'm giving you 2-3 scenarios. Let's assume I want to use this asset for production department for next 1 or 2 months, but after that, after 2 months, this asset has been given to HR department. Okay, so in that case, production department will never agree on the depreciation to be booked on the production department, right? They will say whoever is using that asset, he should bear that cost. So what you can do is in change, if you go to transaction AS02, in time dependent, that is the reason it is called as time dependent, because this cost center may not remain same always. You may want to allot this asset, so you can say from by default from 1/1/19/0 this was given to this cost center, but starting from this another interval, starting from let's say 1st of May 2021, so only for 1 month this department has used this asset. Now I want to give this asset, sorry, other way around, daily production, and this would be HR. So from 1st of May, whatever depreciation would be posted will be booked in this HR cost center. Okay, similarly, there are multiple options. You can provide plant, you can provide location, room. These are all the things which will be created in the logistics module. So you can just click on save. So this is one way of transferring the asset from one department to another department. Okay, normally we follow this. If you are doing the transfer within the company, what you normally do is you transfer the asset from one department to another department by providing the time dependent, so that system always knows that okay, this asset was belonging to this particular department till this time, and starting from this time this asset belongs to this particular separate department. Okay, now sometimes when it comes to the transfers, sometimes I'm just giving you the practical example where we use transfer. So let's assume I created this asset under which asset class? IT hardware. But due to some reason, our auditors noted that this should not have been IT hardware. And because it is IT hardware, the depreciation is also not getting calculated properly, because it should be furniture. Just for example, normally we are talking about laptop, it will always come under IT. But just for the example's sake, your auditor is saying, no, this is not correct. This should come under electronics, for example. Electronics and computers can correlate with each other. This should come under electronics. So it is not possible. Once you create an asset, it is not possible to change your class. You cannot change the class. You cannot change the account determination once the asset is created. So in that case, what to do? In that case, what you can do is you can do the asset transfer from one class to another class. Okay, so let me show you what do you mean by asset transfer. So again, acquisition we have seen, we are looking at transfer now. Retirement also we have seen. In transfer, you can see transfer within company code. So this asset I want to transfer. Okay, on what date? I want to transfer this asset on 1st of May 2021. Again, this is 1st of May. I purchased on April, so first month was booked in this asset. Depreciation will be taken care in this asset. But from the second month onwards, I want to transfer this asset to new asset class. Now, since I cannot change the asset class of the existing asset, I have to create a new asset. Okay, new asset in the master data, I'll be able to tell the system that I want to create a new asset under another asset class. So in my case, I have the asset class created for furnitures. Okay, I'll use this furniture. Okay, so asset class furniture, company code is fine, reference, sending asset number is fine, description and all, whether you want to copy, everything is, it is showing. I will say yes, I am okay with this. So if I come down, I'll click on this button. Okay, so system will automatically generate a new asset number. This asset will get retired automatically. This will not show any value, and whatever value is left will get transferred to this new asset. Okay, let's see. If you come down and try to, if you want to simulate first, you can simulate and then you can post. Let's post directly. So it will create a new asset and it will transfer whatever values are available to the new asset. But for that, it is giving me the error. Account for balance sheet APC could not be found. Now this will answer your question, Arti. You said what is APC? I told you acquisition is normally which you do from the external vendor. And there can be any n number of scenarios in which the acquisition is within your company. So now what is happening? Within the company, you are retiring one asset and you are acquiring another asset. And this acquisition is not through the external vendor, and that is the reason I need the APC GL. So again, I will go to account determination. So AO90. Okay, what is my chart of depreciation? My chart of depreciation is XYZ. And this error we are getting because for furniture, we are not provided any GL accounts. Right? Currently, if you see our furniture account determination, we are not provided any GLs. So we have to first create a separate GL for APC for this furniture, and we have to assign it here.
So exactly, Vikram, what we did, exactly, we are transferring into the other class, right?
Yes, right.
So we the same asset we cannot transfer, is it?
Same asset, you cannot change the asset class. Once the asset is created, it will not allow you to change the asset class. It will not allow you to change the account determination. The only option to rectify this wrong creation is you have to transfer.
So what will happen with the previous asset which we are replacing with the new, that will scrap?
That will get
the
retired.
number will...
Yes, you can say
with any value.
Yes, I'll show you. So first you need to understand this. I'm creating a fixed asset furniture GL account so that I can assign it to account determination, right? This is correct. This you are getting why I'm creating a new GL.
Yes.
So now I will go to balance sheet and here I will assign the furniture related GL, which I created just now.
So this APC account will be created. It is must to create when we are doing this type of transaction, then only that will come into picture. Otherwise, it will be same value as acquisition, right?
Yes. Okay, now system will also, this account will get debited. Which account will get credited? I don't have a vendor now, right? I'm not buying this from the vendor. In that case, definitely system will ask me another contra account. It will ask me contra account. As of now, I'm not providing. I want to show you that error. So again, if I try to continue and try to post, let's see what is the error that we are getting. Now we are getting accumulated depreciation account for ordinary depreciation not found. Okay, for which asset class? It is the same asset class that we are using. So again, in order to complete this activity, I have to create those GLs. So as of now, what I'm doing is I am assigning the same GLs which I created for IT, but I hope you understood that what is the purpose of this GL accounts. Why we are assigning this? Because when the depreciation will be posted, when the acquisition will be posted, in which GL accounts those will be posted. So again, I'm saving this Going back, trying to post this once again. Post. Oh, it is posted now. So let's see what is the GL account which is used for the corresponding posting. So asset transaction was posted. Now if you go and see the original asset, see this new asset is created 2001. What was our original asset? Which asset we transferred? 3002. You can see 3002 has a retirement. It has been retired. We only used 100 of it. The remaining amount, whatever it was, it has been completely retired. Right? So net book value 0. What was the total value of the asset? When we purchased this asset, what was the total value?
12,000.
12,000. Out of which, how much we used for this in this asset class?
100.
100. The remaining 11,900. If you see here, according to income tax, it would be 200. Right? So if you go and see now for 2001, you will find the value at which this is transferred. Let me go to first, let's go to the India gap. So 12,000 plus 100 is already used, which is showing 12,000 minus 100 equal to 11,900 was a value. This is ordinary depreciation calculation, and overall this is a net book value at the end of the year. So whatever amount was available in 2002, it got transferred to asset 2001. Clear? So this is another example of when you require an asset transfer. So if it is
So
asset,
there is no, sorry. So there is no existent of the previous asset and there is no loss and gain for that, right? If we are retiring like
no
that.
loss, no gain, because it is internal transfer. It was not a loss. It was just a transfer of the asset class.
Okay.
See, if it was a loss to one asset class and gain to another asset class, as a company, it will not make any difference, right? Ultimately, you are just transferring that asset. Okay. So now we are left with two important topics in asset accounting. Most of the things we covered. There are two important things that I will be telling you when we will be meeting the next time. Number one is low value assets, and number two is assets under construction, AUC. Okay, once we complete this, then we are done with asset accounting. Then we will start our remaining few topics. I know it is getting like till now we were supposed to complete everything, but as I told you, this time I am also taking a lot of things in detail because I am also not sure when I'll be taking the next batch. So this videos will be helpful for other guys who will be registering. That is the reason. So another, I think, at least 2 weeks would be required to complete all. And what I'll do is, if you are okay with that, there are few topics which are not required in your exam. Even they are not required in your interviews, which is good to have. Like what is system conversion? Nobody is going to ask you because that is something which is over and above the certification exam and the beginners. So those videos which I was planning to take a live session, I will provide you the videos and you can come up with any questions. Those are not very important. If you are planning for certification exam, you can go ahead with certification exam and after that you can watch those videos. So whatever is related to certification exam, that we are going to cover in detail. But there are few topics, 2 or 3 videos max to max, which I'll be providing you so that you can go through them whenever you have time. You don't need to watch it before you write exam. Okay.
Vikram, what about the transfer to the other company code?
Yeah, that is also I'll talk about. But transfer to other company code, normally we follow the other way around, where we retire from one company and we acquire to other company. We don't follow the SAP standard way. We normally industry follow a completely like selling the asset and then bringing that asset to the other company. I'll talk about that.
Okay. And can I ask a question, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, what is the parallel depreciation?
Parallel depreciation, you have seen we have created two depreciation areas. So one is our first one is main and second is parallel, which is used for the reporting purpose for Income Tax Act in our example.
Okay.
Parallel depreciation areas means multiple depreciation areas which you are creating for parallel reporting. Parallel reporting means in addition to your normal GAAP, if you have additional reporting requirement, that is called as parallel reporting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Any questions, please continue. Otherwise, we can close this session and
I
we'll
have
do
one
the
question. See, when
Yes.
we get the auditor requirement, when the asset part get audited, so there will be like so much questions from the auditor, like they need the depreciation key. Sometimes we don't get in the tables, whatever tables are there, right? Whatever's like except AC Doka, there are so many tables for asset, but we don't get that that kind of combination which they ask. So in this situation, what we need to do? I
No,
exactly don't remember.
why will the auditor ask you these questions? Auditors normally
No,
don't come to consult.
no. For some cases, they come to us and they ask the questions. Even we need to provide all the screenshot and all the details to them.
Okay, no, but
You are telling, sorry, you are telling they will ask to the end users, is it?
Yes, we are not related to auditors at all. Even in my career, we
No,
never.
they come to us actually. In my previous project, they came to us and we used to sit with them for 3-4 days and we used to give the detail to them. So some of the part for the asset, I faced so much issue. They will be asking like combination of asset related data, which I was not getting in a single table. Even in the composition of tables, the consolidation of table also I was not getting. So in this situation, what we can do?
No, Aarti, see, whatever data is there in SAP, definitely it is in some of the table. And as you said, it is not,
Correct.
it may not be available in the single table. It might be the combination of the table. So only thing is, if it is a combination of the table, we have to give those combinations. There is no other option.
Okay.
If it is a regular requirement from the auditors, you don't want to do it again and again, then you can ask the developer to create a program to go into these three tables, create a report and give it to them so that they don't come to you. They can directly download the report and they can see that.
Okay.
But there is no shortcut to that. If there is the data which is available in 10 different tables, you have to pick that data from 10 different tables and you have to consolidate it before you give. The
So
best
can we
option
get
would be
those consolidated details in AC Doka now, or it is like as per the scenario? Still, it is as per the scenario.
Aarti, AC Doka will only give you accounting document information. Asset level
Okay.
information will not come in AC Doka. Asset level information is asset related table.
Means for the transaction line items, for the transaction data, the AC Doka is available, right?
Right.
There is no relation for the master data. Okay.
Master data tables are independent. Master data tables has nothing to do with AC Doka.
Okay. Can you share this sheet also?
Yes, I'll share this. I will add this in the document which I already shared with you.
And
Okay.
one more thing, you have changed the field status group for the GL, right? For the field status group. So OBC4 transactions you use.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay then. Thank you all. See you on next Saturday. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.